Okay, so this is a tutorial video on using keybinds in Final Fantasy XI, specifically Ashita version 3, which is what we use here on Eden. I'm going to show you how to manually set keybinds using the bind syntax. Then we'll go over how to save our keybinds. And we'll cover both shared keybinds, which are your universal keybinds that you can use on any character on any job. And then I'm also going to go over and cover job-specific keybinds, how to save those and how to load those, both manually using a macro, and at the end of the video I'm going to show you how to load them automatically using Ashita cast when you change to that job. So I hope you find this video helpful. Let's start off with the basics. This is a keybind that I shared with my Nizul group that helped us with navigation, finding objectives quickly. We're going to type /bind numpad 0 /wireframe and then hit enter. You should see a message. Is bound numpad 0 to /wireframe. And so this is the 0 key on your numpad on the right side of your keyboard. And if it doesn't work for you at first, if it's targeting stuff, I don't know why it does this on Ashita, but if you just press Alt, you don't have to hold it down. If you just press it, all of a sudden your keybinds will work. I don't know if it's an Ashita thing, maybe it's just me, but if you're having that issue, try pressing Alt. And now when I press 0, you can see it switches me into wireframe mode. I can see through walls. I press 0 again, it switches me back out. Nice and easy. This is a little trick I used with my Nizul climb group. Helped us out a lot. But it's annoying to have to constantly type in your keybinds every time you load the game because it does not save them like other games would. But I'm going to show you how to save and load those here shortly. First, let me show you some other things you need to know. We also have modifier keys. So, for example, instead of doing simply numpad 0, let's do Alt numpad 0. And then we'll set it to, let's try heal. So now if I hit just 0, wireframe, if I hit Alt 0, I heal. So let me go ahead and show you guys what all the modifier keys are as a reference here. This is the documents for Ashita version 3. You can find the website here, or just type in Ashita keybinds into Google. This should pop up for you. Here's a list of the valid modifiers. You have one for Alt, you have one for Control, Windows key, Apps key, and Shift key. And then down below you'll find a list of all the bindable keys and what you would type in to use that. Okay? So now let me move into the field and I'll show you some more examples. Alright, so now I'm out here in Valkyrie Dunes. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple other examples of keybinds I would like to use. So now we're going to use, instead of the numpad, we're just going to use regular letter keys. But we have to set modifiers to them, because if we try to bind a key like Q or E or F without setting a modifier to it, every time we type in chat and we hit that key, it's going to try to use our keybind. Because the game doesn't know the difference between us trying to type in chat and trying to use the keybind. So for example, if I want to bind Q and E, I would do bind Alt Q. And for this, I'm going to we'll do slash magic, refresh, STPT, select target party. Let's try that. Alt Q to refresh. There you go. It's working. Now I'll set another one for haste. Bind Alt E. Slash magic. Haste. Select target party. And as you can see, that's working. But if I tried to just bind Q and E, I would have problems every time I typed in chat. So make sure you're setting modifier keys if you're using regular letters for anything. Now, as I was saying before, if we were to log out of the game now, or shut it down and reload the game, our keybinds would be wiped out, set back to default. So we need a way to save our keybinds. First, let me show you how to save and auto-load your shared keybinds. So I'm going to navigate to my game folder, my install folder, and inside here you're going to find a Ashita folder. Then we're going to go into your scripts folder. Inside your scripts folder, you'll find a text file, usually called default.txt or maybe any.txt. I think on Ashita it's always called default.txt. So let's open that. And then you'll find a couple of different sections in here for loading, automatically loading your plugins, your add-ons. If you go down to the bottom, you should have a section for setting common keybinds. And this is where you would add any of the keybinds that you want all of your characters and all of your jobs to share and have, and automatically load when you load the game. Because this file, this default.txt file, is automatically executed every time you start Ashita. And as you can see, we have some in here by default. You should have stuff like this, slash bind. This is control V, paste. So that's just your normal paste shortcut for Windows. And they're adding it to Ashita so that it works the same. So you can paste stuff into your chat in Ashita. Then you have some others like ambient, FPS show. And then these are your default targeting keybinds. So all of these right here, this is control F keys will target alliance members 10 through 15. So your second party in your alliance. And then these are Alt F keys, which target alliance members 20 through 25. So that's, if you're wondering how to do that or how you're able to do that, it's because of these keybinds here. So I would leave these alone. You can delete them if you don't use them, if you don't want them, but I would just leave these as they are and just set your shared keybinds down here. So an example, let's say I don't want to type in /map every time I open the map. I don't want to use the menu for that. I just want a keybind for the map. How about that? Let's do, I usually use page down, something like that. So we can do that. And now every time I hit the page down key on my keyboard, it'll automatically open the map. Let me show you some other examples that I like to use. This is going to be my windower init file. So the syntax is a little different here. So ignore the binds syntax. I'm just showing you examples to give you ideas on the stuff that you should or could use. Here's my map keybind. Have page up for fill mode, which is the same thing as wireframe on Ashita. End key for lock on, because I don't like hitting H. I think it's inconvenient. And if I'm fighting a mob that uses a gaze attack, I need to turn around and I'm tanking. I need a quick, easy key that I can press to lock on and lock off. So that's end key toggles that for me. This one's an interesting one. I don't know if you have this add-on on Ashita or not. It's called Cancel. And basically what it does is gives you the ability to cancel buffs using chat commands. Instead of having to manually click them off, I only use this for one thing, and that's Ninja Shadows. And if you've ever leveled Ninja past level 37, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know why you need to cancel shadows. It's because Utsusemi Ichi does not overwrite Utsusemi Ni. Even if you only have one shadow left on Ni, you have to cancel that last shadow before you can cast Ichi. So instead of manually doing it, which can cause issues for me, sometimes the shadow will disappear right when I go to click it off, and I'll accidentally click off protect or something important. So instead of doing that, I just hit the delete key and my shadows disappear. So I just watch my cast bar. As soon as I get to 50-60% on the cast, hit the key, wipe my former shadows, cast my new shadows right on time. Next, I have, this is clipping plane. This is just like your view distance. I don't know what it's called on Ashita, but yeah, it's like your view distance. I have a couple keys, Alt close brackets, Alt opening brackets for far away or close. Depending on my performance, I can adjust it on the fly. This is a stopwatch add-on for windower. If you use a stopwatch or a timer, I can just hit a key to start it, hit a key to stop and reset it. Frame rate divisor, that's your FPS 1 and FPS 2. You probably don't need to set a keybind for that on Ashita. It's pretty easy to type it out. But on on windower, you have to type //config frame rate divisor 1 or 2, and it's very annoying to type out. So I have keybinds for that, so I can change it on the fly. Window control, so I can move my characters from monitor 1 to monitor 2 and back again, just by hitting a keybind. And then these are some more default stuff. So those are my shared keybinds on windower, just to give you some ideas. And as you can see, it's mostly just add-on commands, stuff like that. Stuff I don't feel like typing out over and over again, just saves me time. Okay, so now let's talk about saving job-specific keybinds. Let's say you wanted to make keybinds for each job individually, and you wanted to change between them depending on what job you're on, right? How do you do that? Let me show you. Alright, so back into our scripts file, or scripts folder on Ashita. what we're going to do is we're going to create a new text file. Just like we use this text file and execute it, we're going to do the same thing with a different text file. So go down here, new text document, and give it a name. Let's say I want to make keybinds for my red mage. So I'm just going to name it simply red mage underscore keybinds dot text. Let's go ahead and open it up. And on any line, we can just start writing out our keybinds for that job. So, like before, we were using slash bind, alt q, magic, refresh, party, okay. And then on a new line, we'll start a new bind. Alt E. We'll cast haste. Like target party. And I'm just going to write out all my keybinds for my red mage. So let me go ahead and convert all of my keybinds for red mage on Windower. And then I'm going to convert it for Ashita and show you guys. And we'll go through it and I'll show you all my keybinds for red mage real quick. So be right back. Alright, I'm back and I've converted all of my keybinds that I use on red mage over to Ashita syntax, so I can show you what I use, give you some ideas, and show you how to do it. So I added a title up here with the // in front, which gives it comment status, so this gets ignored. If you just want to put a title or something, use // in front. Then we have bind keys for heal and using wizard cookies. So Alt 0 on my numpad is going to use a wizard cookie. And then just 0 on my numpad is going to heal. So a nice quick resting keybinds. Control 0 for elemental seal, in case I'm playing sleeper. Numpad 1, 2, and 3 from strongest to weakest are my cure spells, and they're just going to cast on my current target. I have these as a backup actually. I use regular macros 1, 2, and 3 for curing my party in Alliance. But in case I need to heal somebody who's not in my party or not in my Alliance, I use these target keybinds. Then we have 4 through 9. We have spells like Phalanx 2, Tech 4, Veil 4, Blink, Stone Skin, Phalanx, defensive buff spells. Then these spells are a little bit more important. I'm going to use number pad plus for gravity, number pad minus for bind, number pad asterisk for silence, and numpad / for dispel. And just like before, Alt Q for refresh, Alt E for haste. Then down here we have Alt 1 through 6. We're doing debuffs. Dia 3, Paralyze 2, Flow 2, Bio 2, Poison 2, Blind. That's numpad Alt 1 through 6. Then numpad Alt 7, 8, and 9. I have things for raising people. Angel Wing is just a fun item I use for raise. It's the only time I get to use the items. And I have a bunch of them, so we got raise target and we have re-raise me. And then these are really important. Control 1, Control 2, and Control 3 are my sleep spells. Control 1 for sleep, Control 2 for sleep 2, Control 3 for sleep gut. If I'm playing Red Mage Sub Dark, I have Alt F for stun in case I'm not using my chain spell macro. Here's a good one for you dual boxers out there. Find Alt numpad slash, and I'm going to target my main character, then follow my main character. So if you want to put two commands next to each other, you would separate them with this colon here. Doing this will target your main character and then follow him instantly, just by pushing a button. No more trying to target your character, typing follow. If you're dual boxing a lot, I highly recommend setting a key to this. And then we have Sneak and Invisible, which saves me a lot of time as well. Makes it really easy. I use Alt asterisk on the numpad and Alt minus. Alright, so now that I have all of my keybinds written to this text file, I'm just going to save it as redmage keybinds.txt. Alright, so here's our scripts folder in Ashita. You can see now we have our default.txt and we have our redmage keybinds.txt. Make sure that you make this file inside your scripts folder. It has to be inside your scripts folder to use this method. So now let's show you how to load them manually first and then automatically. And don't skip this part because you need to know how to do it manually before you can do it automatically. So here's a macro. Let's make one for, where are we? Okay, this is my old macro for windowware. I'm going to show you guys how to do it on Ashita. So this is how you would execute that file. /exec, which stands for execute. And then the name of the file in parentheses. We're going to type redmage underscore keybinds dot text. Just like that. Alright, let's try that. So now we're going to hit our keybinds macro. Let's see what happens. Alright, it looks like it mostly worked. There was a couple keybinds that didn't work. Maybe they're not valid on Ashita. The numpad slash might be something different on Ashita. So, but anyway, point is, it worked. And it bound all of those keys for me just by hitting that macro. So let's try that now. Go ahead, protect shell. Now put on stone skin and blink. About re-raise. Everything is working. And so anytime you switch to your job, you would just hit your keybind macro to load that file and load that job's keybinds. So that's how you do it manually. Now let me show you how you would do that automatically using Ashita Cast. So let me tab over here to Notepad++. And here is just a generic redmage XML that I got from Balsam. And all I did was right up here near the top, right underneath your settings. I'm going to add this section called your init tags. This is inside of here. Any commands that you put inside your init tags, and if you don't have this, go ahead and just add it. Any commands you put in here are going to automatically execute when this file initializes. So that means whenever you switch to this job, Red Mage. That's how Ashita Cast works. It automatically loads that XML associated with that job. So when you change to that job, this file is loaded. It's going to automatically change your macro book. This is highly recommended. Automatically change your macro book to the correct one for that job. And we're going to add a command to, just like our macro, /execute. Let me go ahead and change this name to the right name here. redmage _ keybinds.txt. And so it'll automatically load your keybinds for that job when you switch to it. So give that a try. Let me know what you come up with. There's all kinds of things you can do, of course. It's up to your creativity and your needs. If you're a keyboard user like me, this will be more helpful. If you're on a gamepad, maybe less so, but still there's a lot of things that are helpful that you could do. Highly recommend using the numpad. And so that's it. That's going to do it. Hope this video was helpful in some way. If it was, like the video, comment below. And if there's any other tutorials related to Final Fantasy XI or any content that you guys are interested in, let me know. And thanks for watching.